We are recording.
Yeah.
Okay, so number one rule, only one person can talk at a time while I'm demonstrating. Otherwise, you won't be able to hear what I'm saying because the person with the loudest voice gets the screen. So we want that to be the desktop here. So thanks for giving this a try because this is like really weird. Barbara and I tried it yesterday as a practice and we found out I have to have a whole lot more things ready to go than I did. So hopefully today will be a little bit better than yesterday. But anyway, this allows me not to have to lug stuff up and down stairs and out to the car and in and out of the car into the church and back and forth. So this works really slick. Whoops, and I keep on bumping the camera, so that will happen too. Hopefully if this works, then that'll solve a lot of problems for me. So this is how the classes are going to work. And if you read your email, you probably already know how they're going to work, but you know, I had a couple people who didn't. So not in this group. I think you all read your emails. Anyway, you'll get 2 invitations to Zoom classes. One will probably be on, it'll either be Tuesday, Wednesday, or Wednesday, Thursday. But one will be morning, one will be afternoon. If there's a group of you that needs to meet at a specific time other than those 2 times, let me know. And it isn't any harder to do one than it is to do 2 or 3. Just need to set the camera and stuff up. So you'll have 4. We're gonna do what they call a bundle focus program. So I'll pick a bundle from the catalog, and that's what we're gonna focus the cards on. All the cards today will use like the Curvy Bundle, and you'll get 4 different styles of cards with the Curvy Bundle. Next month will be Butterfly Brilliance Bundle, and in your card kit that I'll send out later, you'll have a flyer telling about that bundle and giving you the numbers because it's an early release. It hasn't been released yet. It's an early release from the new catalog, which doesn't come out until June. All right, so after the class, I'll take your orders for the card kit if you haven't put an order in already. And your kit's going to include the paper, the die cuts, and the ribbon necessary to make the cards, and gems if I like, you know, all the any fancy stuff. If you want to complete the cards exactly as they're depicted in the demonstration, you'll be able to order the bundle or the stamp set and dies, whichever you need, or you can borrow them from a friend who has them. I am just not allowed, and because it's on the internet now, especially where other people can see it, I am not allowed to send you any stamped material. So you have to do all your stamping at home. So a week or 2 after the class, you should receive your paper products kit. If you want to make arrangements to meet up at the church to get it and save me some postage, that's fine. Whatever we can kind of do that the same way as it was. Or we can get together for lunch after we've all had our vaccinations.
Yay.
I get my first shot this afternoon, so I'm making the grade here. The kits are free with a purchase of $35 of Stampin' Up merchandise before shipping, handling, and tax. If you don't want to order anything, but you still want the kit is $4 for 4 cards, which is a bargain, but they're not stamped, plus $4 postage. Okay, so total of $8. You can bring any of your friends to the Zoom demonstration that you want. And you can feel free just to purchase kits and use your own stamps, or you can purchase the stamp set and dies that are featured. And this is being recorded. So watch your P's and Q's with what you say. That would be me, I'd have to watch. During the demonstration, there probably won't be a whole lot of talking unless you have a question, but after the demonstration, there'll be time for questions and answers and socializing. So yeah, remember that only one person should talk at a time. So if you see somebody else come up on the screen that's talking, kind of hold back and wait until they're done. There's also this thing, as soon as I'm able to figure out the buttons and stuff, there's a thing that says actions down on the bottom. And if you push that, it says raise hand. And I think that puts an actual picture of a hand up on your screen.
Yes.
And then I could answer that. So this morning we're going to do 4 cards using the Quite Curvy Bundle from page 76 of the January-June mini catalog. And that's where the bundle is pictured right here. Is that's not showing up so good.
What do you need?
Okay.
How was that?
Nothing important.
Oh, okay.
And that is the number you're wanting to use is the
Call me
number.
back at 4 and I'm probably gonna go the rest of it. I don't know.
Okay, so
Hello, Gunther.
The number from page 76 is the number you want to use to get the 10% off, okay? But if you want to see better what the bundle looks like, you need to go to page 23 and it will have pictures of the whole thing, but those are not bundled prices on here. So this is like the separate price for the stamp set and the separate price for the dies. So go to page, the number you want to use for the bundle is, and this will be on the recording so it'll play back, is 156228 if you need to order that. All righty.
same on there.
Any questions so far?
I believe on page 23, the number is the same as the one in the back.
Did they say bundle? As long as it says bundle.
Yeah, it's up at the top of the page. Oh,
Yes, that place, it is the same. You're right. But the numbers under the pictures of each one, those are not the ones you want to use if you want to get 10% off. Okay. You know what I mean? Use the bundle number. I don't want to get you messed up there. Okay, then a couple, maybe a week or so before, no, I'll try to get this out as soon as possible. But about after the first class is done, we're going to start scheduling the second class. I've already sent out the invitations for those. This is the Butterfly Brilliance Bundle. There'll be one of these flyers in your kit with your sheet of directions, which will look just like this. It's a tutorial and it has a materials list for each card on there. I may have missed a few products, but actually, if you didn't watch the video, you could work through this tutorial sheet on your own and put the card together from the pieces that you have. So that will be in your kit along with this flyer for the new bundle, which has the number on it because it's not in the catalog yet. Okay, there is 7 days to the countdown of when I will actually be able to see the catalog online. Woohoo! Can't believe the new annual catalog is already coming out. All righty, so we're going to get started on this card here. This is I call it Curvy Sympathy. Why not? This is the Curvy die. This saying and a sentiment in the front is from Itty Bitty Greetings, the With Love and Sympathy, but you can use any stamp set that you like that will fit in that spot. And then the inside, I use the sentiment from Kindness and Compassion. Kindness and Compassion is retired, but it's over here on my shelf as a recent stamp set. So what I did then for the, this is the picture, this is what your Quite Curvy stamp and die set will look like. I need to stick those down here. And then we're going to move over to having card stuff ready. All right, so in your card kit, you're going to have a card base. You're going to have a basic white cardstock. I don't know, did you all get the word that the Whisper White is discontinued and that they had a problem with the manufacturer? And so now they have a new manufacturer. So the name of the paper is Basic White. That is number 159276 is the Whisper White Basic. And that's cut at 5 1/4 by 4. And you're going to stamp the inside sentiment. And I'm stamping today with my Misty. And I have both my inside sentiments set up over here and then this one for the outside sentiment. Since they both use Memento black ink, that's the way I chose to do it. I'm trying to learn to keep my hands out of pictures. Boy, this is rough working around this camera. Find some new ways of doing this, but that's how I would do it. So it stamps both at the same time. I would like to get the inside sentiment a hair darker, so we'll try that again. And once you have this set up for one, you have it set up for 3 or 4 or 5 cards you can do with the same information. So, okay, that takes care of that. And that was Kindness and Compassion and Itty Bitty Greetings. So you're going to take that thing that you just stamped and we're going to, can you all see okay?
Yep.
All righty. We're going, how's the lighting?
It's fine.
It's kind of bright, but oh well.
It is bright. What if I did that? Is it better?
Yeah.
It's more realistic lighting.
It's weird because it's really dark where I'm at. Like the only light that is on is the camera light. Okay, so then this goes in here with an 1/8 inch border all the way around. Okay, so that's the inside done. Ha. All right, so with this piece of marbled paper is the Peony Garden Designer Series paper. And it's on page 149 of the annual catalog. and its number is 152483, which is also listed on your materials list. So you don't need to write it down. But what your first thing you do is you take this marbled piece that you've stamped, and we're going to attach it to the right hand side of the card. I need to get out my other gizmo. I thought this little one would be easier to work with under the camera, but maybe not so. So that gets hopefully stationed there. And then this one, you're going to try to measure
Oh, it's covered.
in this die. This is the, oh, I am all full of ink now. Anybody else all full of ink?
Right.
All righty. So,
No,
this is called the wavy
that's a,
water drop,
no, that's.
Wavy
that's a point of
raindrop.
contention between me and him.
and you measure in 2.5 inches approximately
Yeah, he,
from
you
this
know, he
corner
wants to,
to this
and
top
I said, I
edge.
don't think you should.
Lynn, you're gonna have to
And then
mute
have it
yourself
go
when that
around,
happens.
And then,
I gotcha. All righty. So where was I? 2.5 about here, 2.5 about here, and distance is about 3.25. So all I did was mark the 2.5 inch tick here and a 2.5 inch tick here. And I laid this die on here so that it's just one curve, and so that this part of the curve doesn't start coming up on the paper. Okay, and then I ran that through the big shot over here, which I'll do off your camera, and I'll be right back in a second. Yeah. And you'll need to save both of those pieces of paper that come off of the thing. So you'll have this and this. All right, and then you're going to take this piece and turn it over so that the gray side is up, and overlap them and glue them down. And that's how you will get the gray behind. And then you will take your scissors and you'll snip this extra off along the curve, matching. And I'll turn you back on in a minute, Lynn, as soon as I get my hands free. All right, so that's what it's going to look like. There you go. And then you glue that to the other side of the card. Did you catch me first? You gotta put the ribbon on first. So you got some, I already have some stickiness on the back of my piece of ribbon. And you stretch that across, fold it behind, leave the center open because you're going to slide another piece of ribbon under there later. Okay. I'm getting my big trusty thing here. And then it gets stuck just like so. Match up the edges of those papers and match your border. That. Slip your ribbon under and tie a knot. Okay. And in your kit, there will be a little patch. Let's see, a patch of rhinestones. So you just put the 3 rhinestones on there, and then you'll have that. So easy peasy, right? Questions, anybody? On card 1? Everybody's
Nope.
shaking their heads. We're good? Did I see it all?
On my phone, I have the pictures of the cards, so that does help.
Yeah, and you'll get another picture of the card in with your directions. They're inside and the top are depicted in your directions for your card. All right. And then I send an email with the picture of the cards too, which my goal is to have those out before the class begins so you can see what they look like. All right. So that takes care of card 1, and I have enough here to make a card 2 because I was practicing. All right. So we will go on to card 2, which is this one. The lighting is awful. How can we have too much light? This tiny, tiny, tiny little camera. Let me turn this one off too. I don't know if that helps any or not, but I don't have any lights on at all under me, except this one. There we go. All righty, so on this one, find my pieces parts here. And I gotta flip the page of my directions. Now this paper is not Stampin' Up. None of it is on this one. So just goes to show what you can do with stuff you have around the house. Stampin' Up currently doesn't have any striped paper that I really liked. So I picked up, this was just in my stash of paper. The pink is from Hollows, the white's from Hollows. So you start with your card base, which is that 8.5 by 5.5. And I put it in here. And I'm going to stamp this with Tempting Turquoise. Seemed to be the best match for the stripes on the paper. And I got to back the camera off because that's just like way too close now. There we go. So this is the Hooray for You is in the Quite Curvy stamp set. So you just lay it on your paper here where you think you want it to go and stamp her down. There you go. Hooray for you. It's now in the center of there. Okay. And then you fold your card base and you're going to apply your pink layer. Let me close the ink before I get more inky than I already am.
Robin, did you say what color ink that was?
Yes, Tempting Turquoise. That's the best match for the color of paper that I have in the kit for you. If you don't have Tempting Turquoise, the next best match would be Coastal Cabana. All right. So then we're going to put our pink layer on here. And that is the 5 1/4 by 4. And then we're going to on top of that, this is a 3x5 piece of striped paper. You see it's not Stampin' Up because it's only one-sided. And this goes with a margin around it also, an 1/8 inch margin. Oh boy, try to get that straight with a camera in your face. Interesting. Well, that's the best we can do.
Good.
Then you're going to take a piece of basic white, and this is missing on your sheet as to what size this little paper is, but it's a piece of basic white for the top. And you're going to lay out the sentiment that says, wishing you the happiest of birthdays from the same Quite Curvy bundle. We're going to probably, let me see if I can, probably about 1 inch from the top and 1/4 inch from the edge over here. That's listed in your directions as to where to start that. And then just let it lay. It's already a curved kind of sentiment, so just let it lay on there. And then stamp it. Again with Tempting Turquoise. There you go. And then we will take that and line up our die. Now you're going to use the other die from this stamp set, and you're going to lay it on your paper so that the curve matches up with the words that you just cut. This can kind of move a little, so you want to make sure you try to get that so that it's parallel. And I tried to make it so that the bottom of the die cut actually goes as far down on the bottom of the page as you can. And looks like maybe the second dot in from here makes it about 1/4 inch from the edge. You want to make sure you have a little edge hanging over your paper so that it cuts all the way through. If this is short, it won't cut off the edge of the paper. So let me run that through the Big Shot. Or as I should say, the cut and emboss machine, because we don't have a Big Shot anymore. Ugh. I don't know, can't keep up with the changes sometimes. But let me tell you, I have 3 Big Shots and 1 Big Kick. I'm not going to get rid of them to buy a stamp and emboss machine. All right, so then you take the die off there, and you will have your little holy piece. Da, da, da. You see? Aha, I'm glad you caught that, Ellen.
Uh-huh.
All right, and then yes?
I was just gonna, could you cut it first and then stamp? Why did you stamp first, I guess?
Because the shape of the stamp, you want to match up with the bottom up here. You can adjust the die to match.
Better, okay, yeah.
But either way will work. Once you have it one done and you mount it in your MISTI, you can do all of these cuttings and then stamp them in the
Yeah.
MISTI. It would fit in the, or I should say stamp-aratus.
Yeah, whatever, okay.
Yeah, it'll, it just lines up in the same place.
Robin, what was that tape that you were using to adhere it?
That's just a piece of washi tape.
Oh, okay.
Washi tape doesn't take, it doesn't permanently stick. So if you pull it off very carefully,
Okay.
it won't. And it pulls off of the dies without leaving a bunch of sticky
Residue.
behind. And I have a magnetic plate, but I still like to, when you want this in a certain position, I still like to stick this down. So you could use removable tape. You could use like this kind of Post-it note tape, but the washi tape is nice and sticky and it comes off easily.
Would painter's tape work, or does that leave a residue too?
I have painter's tape. I would be afraid it's really sticky. I'm afraid that it would, unless you're really careful when you're pulling it off, that it would actually pull the pattern of the paper off.
Okay.
I mean, I've done that with washi tape. If you pull too fast, it'll separate your paper and leave a white spot. So, if you don't really need to tape it down, but I like to tape it down just so it doesn't do its thing. And then you're just you can either pop this up or put it down, flat down. And I did the flat down version because I was going to pop up my flower. So both of these pieces of paper were 3x5 for starters. And you see, I can't line that up so good under the camera. If this were me, I'd be pulling that up and trimming it so so it lined up better. I'm over on this side. Anyway, close enough for demo purposes. And then in your package, you've got let me see, what did I do with them? They're hiding. You have the daisies, and there's two blue daisies. You just set them down and offset them, just like in Ellen's kit that she just sent us. Oh, here they are. Oh, wherever you are. All right. So you got 2 daisies and 2 flowers. There's an olive green one and a regular green one. You can decide which one you like that goes better with the paper. I thought the olive one went better, so I chose it. You could actually use both of them, but you just put a little bit of Tombow in the center. And you put these so that the petals don't line up. And you turn it over and put some glue on your leaf. Glue there. Glue your leaf to the back of your flower, like so. Turn your flower over and put its beautiful gem on. This is a big gem, so if you don't like to send them in the mail, I would suggest cutting a piece of let me see, with their circle punch, I think this is about a 3/8. What you can do is, okay, this white piece of paper covers up some of this, so you can punch a circle out of that portion of striped paper that's behind here and put that in the center. That would match real cute. Or you can just color it in with any of the blends, markers, pencils, crayons, Wink of Stella, whatever you decide you want to use in there.
I just noticed yesterday at Hollows, they have different color Wink of Stella, including green.
Oh, yeah,
Yes,
I saw that.
Stampin' Up used to sell gold and clear,
Correct.
and there's silver, gold, all kinds of stuff. And they also Hollows also sells glitter gel pens, which are very nice too.
I have a lot of those.
Yeah. And then just find an appropriate spot for your daisy. Stick around there. I used dimensionals under there. And voila, you're done. Any questions on that one? And make sure you poke out all those little pokies. I think I missed one, but I got it. We're good. I'm making a giant mess over here. All right, so that's the end of card number 2. Now, you see they get a little bit more complicated as we go. So, hope that doesn't get too far out of whack, but that's where I'm headed. The next one will be that one that is made out of the Oso Ombre paper from
yeah.
Celebration. Did any of you get that paper as your
I did.
Celebration choice? If you did, you can use that. And that paper has several choices. You have the black. Okay, this is a tongue twister. Blackberry Bliss. Or you can have Coastal Cabana. And this is Petal Pink. And then on the back of the Blackberry Bliss is Granny Apple Green. So you could do the same card in any combination of colors you want, and it doesn't need to be monochrome, but I think it looks nice that way. But that's a 6x6 pack of paper. There's 48 sheets in there. And so there's plenty of paper. You use a 2-inch strip to make each piece. So actually out of one piece of this paper, I could get 3 tops. And then the other piece of paper, I can get 3 bottoms. So it's kind of an economical use of the paper. All right, so on this card, bring my stuff over. Oh no, you won't believe it. I'll dump it on the floor because I grabbed it too far. Okay. Saved. All righty, so here again, we're going to take that same paper that I talked to you about, and we cut it into 2-inch strips. And then we cut it into, let me see how long these strips are. Ruler here. They are 2 by, I believe 5.
Okay.
2 by 5 1/4. Okay. And you'll take the first one, the first piece, which I like to use the whatchamajiggy, the plain patterned paper on the top. And again, you'll take that and that piece and run it through the Big Shot. And then take that off and you'll have the piece with the holes. Then you'll have its corresponding piece down here. Now this is where the trick begins. You're going to line these 2 up so that this measurement across the 2 when you connect them together is 3 1/4 inches. That way when you take them apart, okay, that way when you take them apart, there'll be this 1-inch gap between the 2 because this total is 4 1/4. All right. When you have those pieces cut, or when you have them laid out to that measurement, I mean to that 3 1/4, you're going to take this die and butt it up against the one that's already cut. If you look at the back of this die, this edge here is the cutting edge. And then, of course, these are the holes. You see that the bottom doesn't have any holes, but the top does. So you would line this up so that this die actually fits right in those holes. Then tape it down to this piece. And then go in here and take this piece off. All right. And then you will, you'll see that those were going to line up perfectly. All right, so then you run this piece through the Big Shot, and I don't know if it's going to cut right because I didn't poke out all the pokies and stuff, but hopefully it will. And it keeps on moving on me a little bit on my, that's why I like to tape them. Give me that piece of tape. Carefully, Robin. This is where you can pull the color off if you're not careful. So make sure you pull gently. Washi tape removes, but it sometimes snags. So you're going to cut this. And you're going to have two pieces left when you cut it. So here's your piece, and you're going to glue this to the inside of your card down in the bottom, right there. So you carry over some of that pattern. This is just a note card, so it doesn't say anything in there unless you want to stamp something in there. And then carefully removing this.
Sorry.
Da, 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 da. You'll have your pieces that get attached to one of these papers. So you're going to glue these down to this paper. And then we're going to stamp. Now you could stamp first, which is probably a good idea, but you need to maybe tape these on here with some washi tape so that you know where to position that stamp.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise it won't get centered.
Right, and it won't follow the curve properly and yada, yada, yada. So, and this is going to be a little big, and then we cut it down after. So we'll get to that instruction. No, that's the wrong. One of these Gizmos. I have all kinds of things set up for stamping here, and now I can't find them. Okay, so I'm just as scatterbrained now as as I was before. I should have one more plate. Ah, here it is. Duh. I did bring it over. Okay, so I have my stamp already mounted, but you will see that you can get this lined up this way and then stamp it. Oops. Somewhere here is my, we're going to stamp with Blackberry Bliss.
I have that actually. Yay.
It's a pretty color.
If you don't have this, the new Mary Merlot is a nice color to use that matches the Blackberry Bliss paper.
I'll drink
If
to
you have
that.
If you don't have this Oso Ombre paper, the set of Regal's color stack that they sell has pieces of Blackberry Bliss in it. Not the same exact pattern, but they have two different patterns of it that will work.
Mhm.
So you see that lines up perfectly. And somewhere around here is my wipes. Yeah. Yep, there they are. I bought one of these instead of using grid paper now. Stampin' Up sells a foam with a grid right on it.
Oh.
So I bought one of those for on the Stamparatus. And if you don't have a Stamparatus, you can use a Misty. And if you don't use either one, you can stick your tongue in your cheek and stick your tongue out and try to get it to stamp the right angle. You know
Does
how
that foam thing also fit the Misty?
No, it's 7.5 by 7.5. So the Misty only holds an 8.5 by 6.5, I believe.
Okay.
You could cut it with the scissors, but it would be an inch short on one side. All right, so we got this all stamped now. Now comes time to taping it down. You can tape or glue. Some people prefer glue. I think for the speed of card making on a camera, it's probably best to use. Now this is going to get taped even, no border
Hopefully.
here. Okay. And the reason I am having you cut this down after is to make sure that these edges are perfect with each other, because there is no way to get that much of a perfect lineup on the smaller size paper, having 3 pieces, trying to line 3 pieces up. I felt anyway. I thought this was the easiest way to do it. So once you get this done, you're going to cut 1/8 of an inch off of each side so that your final dimension, which is listed in the book, in your directions, is you're going to trim it down to 5 by 3 3/4. So cutter is over here. Yeah. So you're going to take 1/8 of an inch off of each side. So we'll make this one 5 1/8. This one is going to be 3 7/8. This one will be 5. Is that what I said? Make sure. Yes, 5. And then this one will be 3 3/4. All right, so then you have your finished piece. Done with the cutter for the time being. So now then it's just glue the layers together. I have the trim piece for the inside. This was just an afterthought to put this in here. And I said, why throw it away? But if it's big enough, you can use it to punch your flowers too. So, all right. So that's the inside that needs a little bit of a trim. See, that's what I was talking about, getting it exact there. It's hard to do. All right, and we'll glue this up and put it on the inside. You could put it way on the top or the bottom, doesn't matter. However you like however you would like to put it. And I keep on moving this camera when I open my drawer. I tried to put the camera on the side, but it made the picture, it's like when you turn your telephone, your picture looks long and skinny instead of wide and beautiful. So then on the front, you're going to have your white piece, which is 5 1/4 by 4. First, it's almost straight, I think. Yeah. And then this piece is an 1/8 of an inch all the way around smaller. So it measures 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. I have to look and see if there's anybody in the waiting room. No. Okay. And then your feature piece, which I call the feature piece. It's just got a tiny bit smaller margin around it than those other ones. So let's see if I can get it lined up. Teeny tiny margin. About like so. Oop, come on down there. Like so. Didn't do so good on that side, but close enough for now. You know what I meant. All right, so the last thing you need to do is the flowers. I punched them out of this piece of cardstock. I used one of these strips to do all of your punches for all of your cards for each person. So I was able to get 318 out of here. And I just, these are raised up with dimensionals. And they're, again, have a gem in the center. You can use your Wink of Stella. You can use they make some flat gems now. Stampin' Up doesn't make them, but I've seen them out in the stores. They're just like a flat sticker. Or you can punch some of that glimmer paper that we had from years ago. That's really nice. And if you wanted to, the glimmer paper you can color with a alcohol-based marker, so a Sharpie or your Stampin' Right or Stampin' Blends. And you attach them there. I put them darkest to lightest. And this, I use the Pansy Punch. If you don't have the Pansy Punch, because it's a long time ago retired, there's a new punch out called a Small Bloom Punch. Lynn has that punch. And it is just about the same size as the Pansy Punch. So, and it wouldn't look, I think it's still a 5, I think it still has 5 petals. They're just shaped a little bit different. If you don't, if I don't know if you can see that, how the white edges kind of show up from being punched. You can go around there either with a marker, or you can sponge the edges would be helpful so that doesn't show. Okay, any questions on that one?
Robin, is that ombre paper available now, or because I couldn't see it in the catalog?
Right, that was a Celebration item.
Okay.
And that's why I say if you don't have that, you're going to you can purchase The name of it is
Regal.
Regals. The 153073 Regals, and they come in a 6x6 pack, and they have like 4 sheets of each of the Regals colors in the pack. So Blackberry Bliss is one of the patterns, one of the papers. There's 2 different patterns. They aren't ombre, so to speak, but they are Blackberry Bliss with 2 different matching patterns.
There's a designer paper that it has the little white polka dots on 2 different sets of them.
Right.
That
Right.
might work too. Okay.
Yep. If you don't want to use Blackberry Bliss, you know, do the same thing with any other color you might like. It could be green. It could be blue, beautiful blue. It could be red. I made this a thinking of you, but you could also use the birthday sentiment in here. You could make this silver and gold and have a nice anniversary sentiment or something like that in the middle. And instead of the flowers, you could put the number up here as to what year it is. So, you know, kind of think outside the box a little bit with your designs, especially if you don't have the current stamp set. But, you know, it is orderable. At least they didn't run out of stock on those. I tried to check on making sure that I was working with stuff that was in stock. Okay. So I think that's all on that one. And this last one looks like lots of complications, but it's really not too terrible. No more terrible than the purple one we just did. This is, and all these designs I found on Pinterest or on, if I turn this light off, let me see. How's that? No light at all. But they're shadows, but I think the color's better. Can you see that better?
Yeah, the color's
All right.
better.
All right. So this is done with pool party paper. Here we had, what was the other? Blackberry Bliss. Now we have pool party paper. Onomatopoeia. All right, so this uses both of the dies, uses the wavy raindrop is what they call it, and the dotted gizmo here.
Is that the technical name?
Yeah, dotted gizmo.
Okay.
Yes, it's in the catalog that way.
Uh-huh.
And I'm gonna run my die brush in here and clean out these dotted gizmos out of the dotted gizmo. Just saves me from having to poke with a pokey tool. I tried
Also a
using
technical term.
yeah, a pokey tool. Yeah,
Yeah.
I tried using a toothbrush because I figured, you know, what the heck, that's going to be the same as, well, a toothbrush doesn't work at all. So go figure. I don't know exactly what happened there, but no. Oh, Joanne sent me a coupon, final day to save. Oh. All right, so let's get into this one. You got some ribbon here. This is the Stampin' Up's Pool Party sheer ribbon. It's beautiful. Oh,
Pretty.
it's like organza that sparkles. It's really nice. But then again, they sell some really nice regular paper. I'm not going to put this in the Stamparatus because you know how to stamp. But I used the 1 in a million centered side to side. And I like to put my sentiments up a little, they save room for you to write a little bit in the bottom. So you're going to glue that to your card base, which is again, the standard 8.5 by 5.5, scored it 4 1/4 and folded it 4 1/4. And this inside piece is 5 1/4 by 4, so it's going to have an 1/8 of an inch border all the way around. Are we still seeing? I'm still in frame. Okay. That's the hardest thing to do, is to watch what's going on. Maybe if I did that, I might be able to. Well, that's a little crooked, Robin. Okay, we'll straighten that out later. All right, and then I took this piece I gotta switch my directions to the next page. 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. So this is only going to have a 1/16 inch border all the way around. And I ran that through the Tasteful Textile 3D embossing folder.
Okay.
It is 152718. And if you don't have this one, you can use anything that has a tight pattern, like perhaps the lattice, or there's one that's delicate diamonds. The one that the person used who I copied the card from, she used the subtle embossing folder. I don't know if it's pretty new and I didn't have it. So this was my next best. And it's really nice. It looks just like fabric when you're done with it. And you can, get in shadows with the.
Oh, that's, can't see it at all now.
Better with the shadows.
Yeah,
Better with the shadows. Okay.
yeah, it's too bright otherwise.
All right. Well, I have to do something about that light. It's just like, I have all the lights in the room shut off, except the ones basically behind me. Otherwise, I'd be in the dark. All right. So we're going to just glue this down to the front of the card. And I also used for the front of this, for the front sentiment, I used an oval die cut from the Layering Ovals dies, but you can use an oval punch or any other shape that you like that will fit the made with love just for you. Or if you don't want to use that sentiment, you can use, I have trouble gluing these little borders down. I think I got it that time. Okay. All right. So you're going to have a, where's my ruler? All right. The white piece is going to measure, and I forgot to put this measurement in there. I think I wrote them down. Yeah. 5 by 2 3/4 for the white piece, and 5 1/4 by 3. Yes, for the pool party piece. So the first thing I did was I laid this die on here to get as much shape out of it as I thought I wanted. And on this side, it measured 2 1/4. And on the other side, it was 1 3/4. So if you mark this like 1 3/4 and 2 1/4, it's going to come out something like that. And I don't know what I did with my tape. I pulled it off of here. Where did I put it? Well, we're just going to run that through. it's not really critical on the size of this part. It's the next thing that you do that's a little bit more critical. All righty. So we have this part cut out, and I'm gonna.
That's pretty.
All righty. And so then you'll take this piece and hold it up to this one. You can either glue it right down, but I prefer not to put the white piece through the Big Shot with the, because it leaves like lines, kind of like impressions sometimes. So I just took this die, and this time we want the holes, and I just laid it till it fit right with that curve on there. And I glued it down, put it through the Big Shot. And I ran that right through the Big Shot. You saw me do that, right? And so you have a, so you have this situation here. And I would have run that through the Big Shot, except I couldn't find my tape and I wanted to tape it down. So you'll get a piece like this. That magnet just snapped against my tripod. Woo! Snappy, snappy. All right, and so you're going to take this piece then and glue it right down to that pool party piece. That pool party piece of paper. And it does have a little 1/8 inch border. Okay, so like so. And then you'll take your ribbon and you put a little bit of stickiness on the back side here. And stickiness over here. And you'll wrap this ribbon around. I took the shortest side and put it like at the halfway point about, and make sure it's kind of level. Wrap around the back into the sticky and it should stay there. I'm going to leave the front open, or you could glue it down if you want, but the ribbon is so sheer it might look kind of funky. You're going to eventually pop this up so you can put your dimensionals on the back side, which I stuck where I had them here just a little bit ago. Sitting down on the computer. I got a laptop on my left, my phone on my right, a camera in the middle.
What is making that shadow that looks like an old-fashioned telephone?
That's the camera.
That camera. Let's see if I
Okay.
can. Oh my gosh. Now I lost Zoom totally. Okay. If you, right here, this is the camera.
Yeah.
If you look at my my face picture instead of my desktop picture, you'll see the camera. That's what I'm working around when I'm trying to put all this stuff together. And if I can figure out lighting so that it doesn't make shadows, and this thing is just like too bright. I purposely bought this camera for more light because the other one had none, and it looks like I could have done without a light at all. So I like lots of poppy doppies. And this is glued within an 1/8 inch border of the textile piece that's on there. So you got your front of your card almost done. I stamped 2 of these. Now in your kit, when it comes, it's going to have 2 die cuts that are not stamped. If you get the curvy die set, I suggest you just throw those pieces away and stamp and then cut. Otherwise, what you will have is a stencil opportunity inside your bag of tricks. And I was going to show you that, but I can't. What did I do with that bag of tricks? I put it out of the way and now I don't know where it's at. But it has the negative space of this. So let me do one anyway. I colored these with mint macaron.
They're like this.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I set that up in the Misty and put the stamp in that hole
Mhm.
so that it would line up.
Yeah.
And then put that in there and stamp down on top of the die cut piece. So here, this is mint macaron that I used for the leaves. This is the light mint macaron. If you don't have the Stampin' Blend, you can use the Stampin' Write marker in mint macaron, or you can use light green watercolor. I used mint macaron and the pool party. I colored the flowers pool party and the leaves mint macaron. All right. And go in there. It's just real simple little quickie stuff. I think this is pool party. And I did use the light version as opposed to the dark version. So we have, it's pretty subtle, the colors. I just love these blends. They are, they're really nice, but they do bleed through to the back side. So whatever using on the back, you want to make sure that you aren't ruining something important. And I see where I missed a couple leaves. Right here. This is mint macaron and this is mint macaron. And I grabbed the dark instead of the light, so you can see the difference. All right, pretty. And then you take the die from the curvy dies, which who knows where, and you cut them out. And you glue, and I stamped the sentiment in Postal Cabana. Pool Party is a little bit too light to be able to be seen well from that label, so I did it a little bit darker with the Coastal Cabana ink. And then you just you run these through the Big Shot and you'll get there's a matching die in the curvy dies, or you'll use the die cut piece that's in there. And you just glue them, the top edge up here and the top edge down here. And then I popped up the whole gizmo and put the bow, which I tied for you and is in your kit. And you use a glue dot to install it. And then there's a couple rhinestones I put on there too.
It's beautiful ribbon.
It is. It's really pretty. So any questions on that one?
No, that's number 4.
That's number 4.
Very
So
nice.
that worked out to just about what we figured, Barbara, an hour and 20 minutes or so.
Yep.
Well, it's now almost 2 hours, 10 minutes short of 2 hours.
No.
So that worked out pretty good. I tried to be a little bit more organized and try to figure this camera lighting out situation out. I know that, okay, let me show you what I was trying to do. Since we're done with the cards, I was trying to put the camera over here because it would be out of my way. But you see what it does to the, no, not me.
Oh, if there's no shadow,
Well, there,
well, except your hand.
well, the
Yeah,
picture's
but the angle's
sideways.
strange.
Just
I
like-
It
I
is.
have to rotate the picture around, so let me try to do that and show you. Rotate. All right, so if I rotated it properly so that you could see it, I think it's still upside down, yes.
It's still upside down.
Mhm.
One more.
Yeah, you're facing us.
There we go.
instead.
That's the right way. But you see how it's narrow and tall instead of wide?
Yeah,
So, I mean, that sort of works, but I liked
more space.
more space, yeah. So, yet I don't know if that's not right either. Let me see.
Mm.
You can still see it. I mean.
Yeah,
it's
I
not
mean,
that
I'm
bad.
just up close. And now I have to flip it, it's backwards. Mirror my video. There.
Hmm.
So, and if you can read Robin's Nest Creations, we know it's the right way. No, it's not the right way. Ugh. Look at my markers are at the wrong place. There they go.
There you go.
Now we have to mirror. There we go. That's the right way. So that's why I did the camera the way it was.
Mhm.
So unless I spend a fortune on a camera, that's kind of what I'm dealing with.
I saw some thing where they have a light ring, and I don't know if that would, I mean, I don't think that's cheap, but. you
No,
know,
it's
that-
not. That
Yeah.
cost as much as I paid for the camera.
Oh, wow. No, never
Um,
mind.
I did buy these little stick-on things, and I found out that the problem is not that I need more light. I just need to get rid of shadows. So
Yeah.
Oh,
if I get rid of
light
one
behind you?
shadow, it makes another shadow somewhere else. So, and I tried sticking it right on the light, and then it makes, too much.
Mm.
Try sticking it over here, and it, it's still too much. Sticking it over here. I tried sticking it up here. Just too much. This is just a little tiny little light
wow.
like this, and it just sticks on it, but it makes like beaucoup brightness.
Yeah.
It's LED.
Yeah, and that's what's in the camera too. So
Mhm.
but I didn't know when I got the camera that light would be quite that strong.
Oh, wow.
I think my next step is going to be to try to find some kind of filter that I can put just over the light to tone the light down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So that
But
would
your
be-
manicure looks wonderful.
Well, thanks, except for this one. Can you see that? You can't see it. Yeah. Anyway, spent a fortune on a manicure and then it chipped. It's supposed to be a no chip manicure. Turn the light off. You
Yeah,
see
you
it.
gotta have nice
There you
nails if
go.
you're gonna do this.
See, yes. And I need to find some rings that fit too and some charm bracelets to dangle around.
It's not enough distractions.
How a woman wears such, I don't know how they can even make a
Yeah.
card with the nails as long as they work with. But
and then they go tap,
Yeah.
tap, 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 tap.
Yeah.
tap.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
annoying.
Jangle, jangle, jangle with the bracelets. Yeah.
There's a knitter
Huh.
lady that I watch videos on, and her knitting needles clack all the time. It's like really loud, and you're like, oh, get some plastic ones.
I like metal ones better. Sorry.
Well, I know, but for the demonstration,
But for a
I
video,
have a
yeah.
hard time hearing her over the clacking noise,
Yeah.
Small
I have
problem.
wooden ones that I like.
So I mean, I know some items I want to purchase.
Mhm.
But I don't really like ordering online. Can I do it through you now? Or how do you want to do this, Robin? Should I call you?
You can either just send an email or if, you know, you can send an email with what you want. And if you're going to pay with a check, you'd have to pop it in the mail right away.
No,
'Cause-
I don't mind using a credit card. That's why I said if I called you, we
yeah,
could
you
just,
can call me with the number and I'll put the order through for you.
okay.
And it's also free shipping day.
Yeah, it's free shipping on
Today.
orders over $50.
Day.
Not a problem.
So that was the first try at it. What do you think?
That worked well. Yeah, it was fine.
When you get to the point where we're chit chatting, you can stop the recording.
Oh, yeah, I should do that. Sorry. Thank you
And then
for
you- then you can put the-
reminder. Stopped. I could, whoops, and we don't want to start it again. Do you want to stop cloud recording? Yes.